Elections have consequences, and nowhere is this felt more than in Kentucky, where Matt Bevin was recently elected governor after he beat Democratic candidate and Attorney General of Kentucky, Jack Conway. Now, of course, Matt Bevin had the usual Republican conservative promises that he promised to do when getting elected. So I kind of want to share a couple of those with you right now. Now, some of his plans were to basically end the expansion of Medicaid. So anybody who got Medicaid under the expansion in Kentucky, he would take that away. Immediately, oh, you had health care? Gone. Gone. You don't deserve health care. Here's some fucking bootstraps. Here you go. He also wanted to work to repeal the state inheritance tax and decrease personal and corporate income taxes. So basically what he would do, inheritance tax only affects a very, very small amount of people who have an excessive fortune. That's only going to save very, very rich people a lot of money. Not only that, but once again, personal and corporate income taxes. Now, if you're below the poverty line, you're not paying taxes into the system. You're not going to see any benefit from those tax cuts. Now, if you're middle class, it will help a little bit, but will also help people at the very top. And also will help corporations. And it will make the state lose a lot of money in funding for the government. That, of course, translates into less services for the middle class and the poor. So it's another essential, hey, fuck you, here's more bootstraps. Great. So now we're doing the bootstraps. The other one is repeal Common Core standards and push for allowing charter schools. Now, Common Core, I don't quite know where I stand on that. I think that it's good to have some educational standards, though I think you might... I don't like the whole way that the education system is set up, but that's, of course, a conversation for another time. Charter schools, I'm okay with charter schools as long as no federal or taxpayer money goes into funding those schools. Because what we see is a lot of charter schools being religious charter schools and not teaching actual information to kids and teaching things like creationism. No public money should go towards teaching creationism anywhere. You want to do it with your own funding? Great. I'm all for that. But no public funding. So that's what I'm worried about. Now, also, he has plans to privatize government land and property. So already, sounds like pretty conservative, right? Now, he also wants to do away with pensions for state workers and force them into 401ks. Disaster. And finally, one of the biggest things is ending the state's Kynect insurance exchange. Now, what's that? Now, that was the insurance exchange created under the Affordable Care Act. Now, that would help people, of course, get insurance through state exchanges that are supposed to be competitive marketplaces. Now, he wants to get rid of that. Now, according to the Courier-Journal, Bevin is actually making good on some of those promises. Now, the latest one is dismantling Kynect. So he's going to get rid of Kynect. Now, that's unfortunate because Kynect is actually a very incredibly effective program. According to a Gallup poll, by the first half of 2015, Kentucky's uninsured rate had actually fallen from 20.4% to just over 9%. That's over 500,000 people that have gotten access to affordable health care insurance under this program, under Kynect. And it was run by Kentucky. This was the state exchange. And Forbes called it one of the best examples of a state actually taking the reins and setting up an effective state exchange. This is all while the federal rollout was plagued with computer problems, where people couldn't get their insurance, the whole Obamacare rollout debacle. While that was going on, Kynect was set up and it was working, and it was damn popular. In fact, according to a 2011 stakeholder survey, 83% of respondents with an opinion preferred that the state design its own exchange, and of course, it was popular with a lot of people. Now, Bevin, by closing down the state-run exchange, is actually opting to go over to the federal exchange. Remember, the law says if you don't set up an exchange, the federal government will come and take over and create its own exchange in its place. But wait a minute, I thought Republicans liked the idea of the states actually implementing things. Well, apparently not when it comes to affordable health care. Now, not only would this move be incredibly unpopular, but according to former Governor Steve Beshear, who ran the numbers, he estimates that the change would cost the state anywhere from $23 to $25 million just to switch over. So, congratulations, Kentucky! Not only will hundreds of thousands of people lose health care in your state, but it will also cost you at least $23 million. And it's because, and the whole root of this, is because liberals stayed home. Now, wait a minute. How could I blame liberals when it's conservative Matt Bevin? What are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about this. According to the state Kentucky Board of Elections, voter turnout was roughly 30%. 30%. Everybody knows that when you have low turnout, Republicans win. That's the fact. That's the truth. And because of that failure to turn out the vote, to go out and to make your voice heard and to be part of democracy, you are now losing the nation's first Obamacare success story. Way to go. Way to go.